Hello, this is going to be an explanation video of my 729 speedrun for Super Mario Bros. 2 on SNES. The first thing that you're going to notice is that I'm playing the Japanese version of the game. That is because the Japanese 1.0 version of Super Mario All-Stars has a faster title screen than any other version of the game. You can get to the game's menu after a reset much faster. That is not going to matter for now, but it will matter during the run. So here I am just starting up a new run, and I'm playing Mario in 1-1. That is because Mario jumps higher than Toad, and those are really the only two options here for 1-1. So the fastest way to complete 1-1 on this version of the game is to clip through the ground by using the potion and the vine. Now, you gotta make sure that you're on the right side of the vine, as if you try to do this on the left side, you'll actually end up in the cave instead, and the level is gonna be too slow. If you try to do it on the NES version, it actually doesn't work the same way at all. It'll bring you back to the first screen of the game instead. So now we're in the cave, and we're gonna clip through the ground yet again. You have to do this clip very quickly and get the midair jump in the next screen, or else you will not make it in time for the earliest egg cycle in Birdo. If I don't make it in time for the earliest egg cycle, it's an immediate reset as I lose roughly 4 seconds. In 1-2 I swap over to Luigi. This is because he jumps further and higher than anyone else. Since the door glitch that lets you bring a veggie into the Birdo fight does not work in this version, I instead go for the key, since the key is the only item that the game allows you to bring through a door. Toad is also a decent option for 1-2, but when you play Luigi and go for the key, you end up not having to wait for any of Birdo's eggs, as the key makes for a pretty good weapon. So Luigi ends up being slightly faster than Toad in 1-2. In 1-3, however, I'm gonna go with Toad because he runs roughly 20% faster than anyone else whenever he's carrying an enemy or any other object that is considered heavy. Toad also has the fastest pickup speed, but he shares the lowest jump height in the game with Princess. Here's where the route is gonna deviate from the warp run on the NES version. After I come out of this lengthy warp animation and get greeted by Birdo, I'm gonna save and quit the game. And here's where playing on the 1.0 version of Japanese Super Mario All-Stars comes into play with a faster title screen. And now since I warped out of World 4, the game allows me to enter any of the first 4 worlds in the game from the file selection screen. So I'm gonna choose to enter World 3. For 3-1 I'm gonna play Toad. You could really either play Mario or Toad for this level, but since I'm gonna play Toad on the next level anyway, I opt to select him for 3-1 already. He is a bit faster than Mario because of his faster pickup speed, as I'm gonna have to grab the potion here to perform the warp to World 5. This run is about a minute faster than the non-save and quit run on the SNES version, even with all the additional menuing. So here I'm greeted by yet another Birdo, warp to World 5, and Toad in 5-1. Now here's where the run gets hard. The strategy used to be to play Luigi in 5-1, but Toad is about 1 second faster if done well. So the reason why we were using Luigi is because he can just jump across these big gaps. With Toad, you're gonna have to do some precise platforming off these fishes to get across, which looks really cool. The benefit of playing Toad in this level comes on the boss fight, where his fast pickup speed will make really quick work of Birdo. So 5-1 is pretty tough, but the most difficult level in the run is definitely 5-2, where I'm also going to be playing Toad. This used to be a level where we would play Luigi, but Toad has potential to be over 2 seconds faster than Luigi on this level. I unfortunately fumbled on the setup with the Shy Guy and the Ostro, costing me a bit of time. But here you really benefit from having Toad's faster movement speed on this long horizontal screen over playing Luigi. And now we're coming up to the clown, which is definitely the hardest part of the stage to do well. I am unfortunately gonna get hit here by the sniffets, and that's because the mistake I had earlier on in the level. Had I not made that mistake, they would have fired later. One thing that's very interesting about the Super Nintendo version of the game is that you have two buttons for jump. That enables you to hold one of the jump buttons to fall slower and press the other one to jump for the vine jumps. Then adds another frame to the vine jumps, making a 4-frame window instead of a 3-frame window. You also have two buttons for run, which also comes in handy in a few places. This is a level where you're dependent on Birdo's eggs, so since I had a mistake in the level, I'm gonna miss out on the earliest egg cycle and lose roughly 2 seconds compared to the optimal 5-2. The very nice thing about being Toad on the boss fight is his faster pickup speed. It's really easy to grab these eggs and just go ham on Birdo, making the boss fight much easier than what it is with Luigi. For 5-3 I'm gonna go back to Luigi. This is a very short level. And Luigi is the only character that can super jump up to the platform where the warp is. This warp will bring me to the final world of the game, World 7. Seven-1 is a pretty difficult level. I'm gonna go with Luigi again because of his high jumps. The rocket that is at the end of the second screen will only blast off every 1 second. This run I managed to get the fastest rocket cycle, which was very nice. One thing that's very nice about Luigi, other than his high and far jumps, is that it's easier for him to do ladder jumps than any other character. Luigi's ladder jumps are on an 8-frame window, making it much easier to hit compared to the other characters that have a 3-frame window. Luigi is really able to just fly through the latter half of 7-1 really quickly. The 7-1 boss fight can be pretty annoying because of Luigi's floatiness. Having got a pretty bad fight in this run unfortunately, costing me about half second. For 7-2, which is the final level of the game, it's back to Toad. Toad's faster movement speed makes him the only character who can make the fastest veggie cycle on Wart, making him the natural choice for this level. It's quite a bit harder to make the fastest veggie cycle on the SNES version of SMB2. On NES you don't have to play the level perfectly, but on SNES you can hardly make any mistakes at all and still make it in time for the earliest veggie on Wart. But if I do get through the first half without any mistakes, I'm pretty confident in my ability to get to Wart in time for the earliest veggie cycle. Here's a little cool trick with Birdo. If you pause the game when Birdo is supposed to spit out a projectile, you can prevent Birdo from spitting out anything at all, making it so that there's no projectile in the way when I grab the key. And now for the showdown with the Hawkhead. By throwing the mushroom block at just the right time, I can get 2 hits in with my first throw, and then it's just a quick second throw to finish him off. That was a good 7-2, so I'm gonna get here just in time for the first veggie. There's nothing that is random about the war fight. These veggies pop out roughly every 4.2 seconds, and assuming I get here at the right time, like I did, this fight is actually one of the easier parts of the run. Funnily enough, what comes after the boss fight is much more difficult than the actual boss fight. There's a frame-perfect trick that allows you to skip the fanfare after defeating an end-world boss. It's done by pausing the game at just the right time when the fanfare starts playing, allowing you to enter the door without having to wait for the fanfare to finish. This trick only works on the Super Nintendo version of SMB2. I was very late on my final split, but that was a 7:29 speedrun for Super Mario Bros. 2 on SNES. Please let me know if you enjoyed the video and would like to see more videos like this one. And yeah, thanks for watching. Until next video. Peace.